No, I had it right. See? Peach fuzz. Oh God, I'm blocking it. That's our color. So I thought it'd be really fun to do a completely monochromatic peach look. I'm very excited. Something interesting though in this picture, do you see how behind it, there's the contrasting shade of the soft blue, just like on the color wheel, and that really makes it stand out. It's just something to mention. So even pairing a cornflower blue with this peach would be so, and I want to, but we're just gonna go all peach. By the way, this is one of my favorite palettes. I hope that it's still around. This is the older packaging. They have the paper packaging now, which is much better. We don't want the plastic, but I love this palette. It's gonna be perfect for today. I'm so excited. I need to quit the squawking, start the painting. So we're gonna start with some clean canvas. And the reason why is because I want to kind of just cancel out any kind of veins, really lighten up the tone through here, because the lighter the base, the truer the color. I don't really want to do white because I don't want this to just turn into a complete pastel look. That's not where I'm going, but I do want it to be a little bit more full coverage, and that's what this base is going to do. Think of it as full coverage foundation for your eye. And then if you're thinking, why don't we just use foundations? Sometimes they don't do as well with a lot of friction, and the eye, because we blink and because we have the fold here, it really heats up. So I know that once I set this, I'm not going to have any issues with it heating back up. It's going to be really nice and set. Plus, we're going to get a lot of pigment out of the eyeshadow because of how tacky it is. But it is important that we even this out on the lid. See this right here? That has to be evened out or it will crease. So the way that I'm about to use this particular product is completely different than how it's intended, but I want to teach you. So this is a liquid shadow. If I wanted to wear this, let's say a different way, alone, I would not put a base under this. But what I'm doing is I'm using this very wet base to create a very wet peach base out of this. So if I put this on top of this, I know it's not going to set alone. It's going to have powder shadow put on top. But that's what I want because I want to do a very peachy crease. These are extremely pigmented. So you see how little I just put there? We can always grab more if we need to, but it's best to not put too much at first, always. And we don't have to worry about this drying because we have that wet base, so we don't have to be in a hurry. But look at how pretty and peachy this is going to be. And I want to do a very soft peach cut crease. That's what's calling my name today. See how pretty and peachy that is? And then you're wondering, Rose, why didn't you just put the peach eyeshadow down? Well, adding this first is going to really enhance the peach shade. It's kind of why we use different colored bases. It's just going to really intensify our peachy situation that we are after. Also, do you see this precision we're able to get with the E28? How it's already a soft cut crease with no carving. It's the shape, it's the fibers, it's the density, it's the length. It's flat enough that we were able to just press in here and create that kind of pre-cut crease. Cool, right? Now let's grab our palette. I should have went and checked and seen if this is available. I'm gonna go check after this slide. So let's start with this shade. Grab it on the tip of the brush. We're gonna start to deepen up our socket here. I'm gonna show you the difference and why we put that peach there first. See, I have the base. I can wipe it away there. I'm gonna grab that same shade and then I'm just gonna tap that. So you can see the difference in intensity. I can even build it up a little bit more here. See, we have so much more depth with it. That doesn't mean that it's not a pigmented shadow. It just means that adding a base similar to the next color you're wanting to lay down, it just intensifies and adds so much dimension. I also remember loving this shade. So we're gonna take that on the side. We're gonna start to transition this. I actually just took my contacts out. I had some kind of weird glare on one of them and couldn't figure it out, so I just took it out. Got mad, threw it in the floor. Haven't added any more. I'm just gonna keep using the side of the brush. I actually wiped off my brush on Sheila. Didn't want to deposit too much pigment now. Start to transition it. And then what's really gonna bring this nice and peach fuzzy is I wanna use this shade Okay, but we only need a little bit. And that's gonna be our transition before I do a matte white eyebrow highlight. Whoo, we're double snoring. Picked up a little bit more. Jean and Dougie are snoring. Look how pretty and smooth that transition is. Nice. So I added a creamy white, not stark white, not a neon white, just a creamy white. This one from the Viseart palette that I always use. I use that to the high point of my brow bone. And anytime we add a lighter shade to a high point of your face, what it does is it obviously brings it forward, okay? It's something that brings attention to the eye, but it's also going to kind of make from here to here appear a little larger, a little brighter, and even it's gonna make this feel that it's higher than what it really is. So I know that this shade looks so enticing, this one, and it's really fun, but I feel that ColourPop at one point, they were a little more loosey-goosey with what they would put in their palettes. This is very a sensitive topic. To me, it's really not that sensitive, but to me, keeping you safe has been something that I did want to dedicate myself to. Something like this is not considered eye safe. And the reason why, I mean, we know it's a blast, right? Just a party and a half. But the chunks of glitter are so large that it's not considered safe for the eye. So when they would put this in the palette, automatically we would want to put this on our eye, but in theory, this would be face safe. So anything past here down. So I always just want, but it's always up to you. It's where you feel safe. As an artist, hang on, my slide's about to run out. I was saying, as an artist, I work with all types of mediums. I will put glitter around my eye. I will put red that is not intended for the eye area. Even this shade in the palette, there's just little stars on the back that indicate that it's not going to be eye safe. It's considered a pressed pigment. If you guys want to go search that on Google, search eye safe pressed pigments, what's safe, what's not. It's just something I want y'all to know. That being said, I always try to teach in a safe way, even though everything in me wants to use this. If I was to use this, do a look, it would probably get a ton of views. There are so many things that just get so many views, but to me, that's not what it's about. And I know this sounds corny or like I'm trying to be on some sort of high horse. Absolutely not. It would just kill me for one of you to DM me and say, look, I had a horrible piece of glitter get in my eye is scratched. So that's why you never see me use things like that. I was saying that's why you don't normally see me use a lot of things that aren't intended for the eye area, as fun as it is. So I used to, and then I realized the impact that it had, and I don't want to be responsible for that. But that being said, I'm not telling you not to. I can't tell you what to do, but I can just set an example. All right, enough of that. Onward. All right, let's get ready for our shimmers. We're going to use two shimmers. I know that these two are eye safe. We're going to use this one and this one. Ooh, that's so pretty. So I'm just going to even out that base on my lid. I think, you know what? I think I want to carve. It's carving day. But I need my C30. Oh, okay. If I'm squinting, remember I had to take my contacts out, and this astigmatism is absolutely, it's stigmatisming. It's bad. All right, so let's grab some of our base on our C30. Remember, we have our little duo, our concealer duo. This one's in it. So we're gonna place it. See how I'm just kind of pushing it there? Look at that difference already. Eee, I love it. I'm trying to decide if I want to get a little bit more graphic and add some black. I don't think I do. Let's keep it soft. I want to emulate the picture. It's very soft and fluffy. There we go. And I'm just going to continue to clean that up. I need to get some micellar water for that. Okay, so I want to bring this color, the darker crease color, out a little bit more. So I'm going to grab it on an E26. This is a really good way to use an E26. it picks up just the right amount, so we're not going to have any fallout onto our base that we already have, but I'm able to extend it, and I'm even able to lightly blend it. There we go. That's all I needed. All right, let's do this. We got our little carvy carve. Now we're gonna grab this. We're gonna do it on a smaller brush, so we're really able to get in here. And when I say in here, I mean inner corner. Press it on really nicely. Get in there. There you go. Ooh. Lord, the snoring is just, it's too much. And then we're gonna do this side a little bit more. And what you're seeing me do now is once I have it on there, I really wanna make sure I'm getting into the folds. So I'll even lightly, I'm so lightly tugging on my eyes, so lightly. This is more gentle than even putting on eye cream, so don't worry about that. But we do want to make sure we're really working it into any folds. Now, swipe that off. Let's go into this shade. Ooh, there it is. Sometimes they run away from me. And then we're gonna take this shade over this way. Can't wait for you to see this with. Look at this pretty ombre it's gonna be able to create. Again, and if you can't shut one eye at a time, just tilt back and just do those light pressing motions. Oh, that is so pretty. Ooh, I'm into peach. Just wait till we get to the complexion. Just letting you watch it blend, picking up more. Picking it up on the side of the brush so I'm really able to cover more area and make sure we're setting that base nicely. That is gorgeous. So I want a super thin line. I'm talking just almost just a line. Yeah. I think I want it to connect to. It's one of my favorite things to do. This is nothing. Don't ever worry about me. Remember, I say it all the time. I can barely touch my skin. It's super reactive, but then it goes away. Don't even remember touching it, but it does it. So what I'm gonna do to have control is I'm gonna take an E26 and the clear base, and I'm just gonna start to map it out. And what makes this really easy is that it actually ever so lightly removes the eyeshadow underneath it, so you can see where you need to go back and go back over it with the eyeshadow. And eyeshadow is so easy to use. So if you have hooded eyes, doing this technique is going to be chef's kiss. And I also highly recommend this technique if you find yourself in a hurry. Here we go, that should be good. Nice. All right. Just grab some brown eyeshadow. I'm gonna have to dip to another palette. Most of us, that's not a big deal. I try not to do the palette hopping unless it's on Monday, but most of us have a brown eyeshadow right next to us somewhere. I'm gonna do a dark brown, and then I'm just going to, look at this. Because where we mapped out, it's just grabbing it. It's just going, and I'm not having to worry about any bleeding. I'm not having to worry about it mixing, and it's going right over because it cleared a path for this matte shadow. It's kind of genius. We're doing a Raquel Beauty Moonlight lashes. It has a really thin lash band, so it'll be really nice with this very dainty wing. Sorry, I didn't label it before I hit post. My finger slipped. So yeah, that's the lashes that I have on. This looks so good. Let's keep this peach party going. So let's use a peachy blush. Okay, we're gonna get a peachy under eye. Remember the pink under eye? We're doing a peachy one. So we're gonna start, I'm gonna go heavy because we have no foundation on, no concealer. That's still gonna work itself in. Peach can be very brightening. I'm actually a little bit too fair right now for what I'm doing, but if you have medium tan, this is gonna be what pink is. Obviously this is still going to work on me. I know where I'm going with this, but ideally this is going to be on a little bit deeper skin tones. And when I say deeper, I mean going into medium tan, medium skin tones. And when I say medium, I don't just mean medium, I mean going from the different range after that. So, but like I mentioned, this is still going to be pretty fun, okay? It's gonna be fun. So let's start to work this in. And don't be alarmed. We trust the process around here. We're nowhere near done. But I did want to touch on the color correcting aspect aspect of this. And for me, I always like to preface by saying, no, I do not have dark circles. I am never comparing myself to someone that does. But what I do have is I do have blue underneath my eyes. So this peach, in theory, on the color wheel is going to be very brightening underneath my eyes. It's not going to be the pink bright because pink is going to brighten my skin tone, but it is going to be a very color correcting, smooth, even look once we get our foundation on. Before we move on, I'm going to do apricot on my waterline. It's going to be peach. Apricot and peach are very close. Don't. But what I am going to do is I'm going to leave my iris right here in the center. I'm going to leave that there. If you've ever wanted to wear a lighter color liner like this, like what I'm wearing on my waterline, which does brighten, but you find it a little jarring by leaving that bare right there in the center, it doesn't create that contrast, especially if you have dark eyes like I do. A lot of times that's where it gets a little jarring, is right when you go where the iris is. But here and here, that contrast is with the whites of our eyes, so it's not quite as jarring, but we're getting that nice effect. So I'm gonna do my cream foundation. I feel like going a little bit more full coverage today. And why I'm over here disappearing is because I wanna grab it out with a spatula instead of going in with a brush. That way I can really smooth it on. Ooh, that match. This is the shade L2. That's a nice match. Yay. Okay, this is going to, it's going to give us more coverage, obviously. It's a cream foundation. If you want extreme coverage, you're going to love this one. The Power Play is going to be less coverage, and it does feel, Power Play does feel just a hair more lightweight. I do not want you to think that this feels heavy. That's not what I'm saying. But cream foundations, generally, you're going to notice a little bit more on the skin, but not heavy by any means. This does not feel like the KVD Good Apple. But I was saying I want to go heavier with the foundation. That way it really kind of melts into what we're doing here with this pre-blush. So let's, ooh, see that clump right there? We need to smooth that out. You have to. It makes a difference because when your brush here, when your brush goes over a clump, that can completely sabotage your application. So smoothing out foundation first is, I mean, pro makeup artists have done it for a million years. In fact, okay, I'm going to tell you something. So we all saw the Glamzilla video that went very viral with the Laura Mercier foundation. And you'll notice the brush that she applied that foundation with, okay? That is not something I would actually apply and work it into the skin with. What that Makeup Forever brush is, it's a smoother, it's a pre-application, because also think of it, a lot of times, also really quickly, I know I'm backtracking, but Makeup Forever is a very pro brand. And a lot of times pros, they mix the foundation elsewhere. They don't just mix it on the face. What they do is because they're getting that perfect shade and they have so many different colors in their kits to get that perfect shade. So they're gonna mix it elsewhere and they're gonna take a flat brush like the one that was used in that video, and that's gonna be first application. That's gonna lay it down. Just like that spatula did that I just used, that's what that brush is being considered. It's a spatula. They would still take a brush like this. I'm not trying to say this just the C42, but then you take a foundation or a sponge. If you are into sponges, you're going to take that and you're going to work that in. A flat brush is not going to work the foundation in, and it's not going to wear the way that we want it to. That's important. So if any of you did purchase that Makeup Forever brush, because it did go very viral, it's a wonderful brush for laying down, for smoothing, for kind of creating the first step of the canvas, but you are going to need something more dense to press it into the skin. So just keep that in mind. And I know that I have brushes. I still think that Makeup Forever one is completely useful. It might be less useful for day-to-day use in your just makeup routine, but as an artist, it's absolutely a needed brush, absolutely. But I don't want you to get that brush and just think that painting that foundation on the way that she did in that video is enough. Foundation needs to be worked in with a denser brush. And just one more thing, it was a very beautiful visual to watch the foundation be painted on with that brush, but that can be very misleading because I would hate for y'all to just apply, because most of us even have the brush. I'm not talking about the C42. Most of us have a dense brush to press that foundation in, or you might even love your sponge. So I just don't want you to get that brush painted on and then go out and then wonder why your foundation is not wearing the way that you want it to. Foundation needs more than just to be painted on. It has to be worked in. Now I don't think I've tried this yet, have I? I've really been into mycosis, but y'all been asking what I think about this, so let's try it. Let's act like I haven't tried it, because if I did, I don't remember. So I'm thinking this shade's gonna be pretty good. It looks nice and neutral. I might need to go a little lighter. Let's see, I'm gonna tell you the shade. So the first shade I just swatched is what? Is that a D? Oh, here it is, 200C. So that's 200C that I just swatched. I'm thinking this one looks a little too warm. So I'm thinking 170C. Yeah, let's go a little lighter. Let's do the 170C, and that's that one. Okay, let's try this out. And I'm going to go heavier because I need to cover up most of the peach, not all the peach, just a little bit. And I'm going to brighten with it. I do like how it's actually a cool tone. That's nice. All right, so I'm going to wipe the concealer brush. This one's from the Essential Travel set, by the way. The Jean Hair is from the Jean Bean. And then I'm going to take that, work that in. Nice coverage, not full coverage, which I'm fine with. I'm just letting y'all know. Sometimes I feel that when I say something, I don't want y'all to think it's a bad thing, or that's what I was hoping for. I'm just letting y'all know. So I always want to be careful with that. Start to work that all in around there. It's nice and brightening. No patchiness. Definitely hydrating. The way that it feels on my skin, I feel that there could be creasing with this one. Not in a bad way. Some concealer. It's really hard to get a formula that is very hydrating, which some of us need. It's hard to get that type of formula and then it not have mild creasing, because hydration just means movement. That's a good way to put it. I have just been, trying on things for a long time now, and I just automatically know what something feels like on my skin. So this is a concealer I would reach for, I can already tell, if I had very dry under eyes. But then also, it's so important. Remember what, Jean, please not right now. It's important to know that with these newer formulas that are so skincare packed, to scale back, because this would be an absolute patchy mess had I put on a lot of skincare underneath it. So that's so important to remember as makeup science continues to infuse skincare into our makeup, which I absolutely love, but we just have to scale back. A long time ago, foundation and concealer formulas that were very dry. Think Estee Lauder Double Wear. That still needs so much skin prep underneath it, but there's been some advancements. So I want to use this. There's some education in this. This on top of wet concealer, I will have eyeshadow. This is as pigmented, it's almost as pigmented as an eyeshadow. So is the pink one. That is beautiful, especially for deeper skin tones. We need that for deeper skin tones. We need that level of pigment. But we also need to learn how to use it for all skin tones, because it can, okay? It can absolutely be used for all skin tones. But the first thing that we're gonna do is we are going to grab a powder that's close to our skin tone, very close. We as in me will go grab that now. Okay, so I'm gonna grab a powder very close to my skin tone. This one's from Maybelline. I love this one, by the way. It's so affordable, it's amazing. I just normally reach for other ones because I do like the brightening, but we have to do it this way today. Let me check out this. Yep. This one's a juicy concealer in a good way, but I do know that I would have very mild creasing with it. But I never want you to think that that's a bad thing. Yes, we think creasing, we think, oh no. But when we have a very dry under eye, we have to just kind of sacrifice. And by creasing, I don't mean instant creasing. I mean after about 4 or 5 hours. And it's very easy to just tap back over with the puff. We don't even have to add more powder to it. You could even just do a dry puff to kind of just move things back to where they are. But we need that hydration. Some of us just need that hydration, especially if I'm going heavy with my retinol. I can't have my regular concealer. Ooh, look at how hydrated my under eye looks set. Ooh, I like that. So I swatched the powder on the back of my hand, and of course our bodies have so much moisture, it's going to enhance it. So you can see how intense that would be on wet concealer. So what I suggest that we're going to do, we're going to take a little bit of our Maybelline powder, and I'm going to take a little bit here in the lid, and I'm going to mix these together. And remember, we're just having fun. We're just sassing around. But we're still going to get a really nice brightening effect this way. So let me get my perfect ratio here, and I'm getting it on the side of the brush. Now we have our peachy mixture, and I'm just going to tap this underneath our eye. It's going to be very creamy. And when you have a very creamy under eye like this, it's really going to be very cohesive, very melty, very monochromatic. I mean, look at that. Ooh, that looks good. And not only that, the right shade of peach for you can even disguise fine lines. It can blur. It's just an illusion. It's obviously our fine lines are there forever. But I mean, that's what makeup is. Makeup is an illusion. Me and this Kiko Milano bronzer have become absolute best friends, and I want to be extra bronzy today. This is one of the very few blurring bronzers that I've ever used. It just adds to coverage without looking, because if you'll notice, there's a little bit of life in it. Do you see this? There's a nice little sheen. It's not sparkly, and I don't want you to think it adds texture. That's the opposite of blurring. So I just absolutely cannot get enough of how blurring this formula is. And also remember, I haven't set the perimeter. So if I want to go back over and blend this with my foundation brush in a second, which I normally do, I just feel like it gives a very seamless look. That's what I'm gonna do. Ooh, look at the placement with that C40-ing. I just love how creamy this look looks. Now remember how I mentioned nothing is set? Let's just go over it. I'm not going here. I'm just going around the edges. So on top and underneath, and then all around here. Nice. This is so pretty. I love this. In fact, I have these in a, they're so scented, but I love the scent. It smells like classic old-timey makeup. I know that old-timey normally isn't a good thing, but I love it. This formula is so pretty. I love it. Oh, it's gonna match my eyeshadow so nicely. But the pink one, Ex-Girlfriend, is probably one of my favorites. So what I wanna do, I love, these are, oh, they're both powder, by the way. I'm gonna start with this darker one. Okay, it's just on the side. See how the brush picks up the product? So I wanna put that one further down here. Okay. Oh, here comes my lunch boy. I hear him. He's gonna ask me, let's go downstairs and have our lunch together. Okay, so the darker one there. Okay, I'm flipping the brush. So it kind of hugs the bottom part of the cheek. Oh, ooh, ooh, love it. But I will say, if you do not like strong scents, please avoid these, or go into the store. I know they're sold at Sephora. Go there and see if you can handle it, because I can handle it. Okay, now grab it in the same spot, but now I'm gonna hug the top of the cheekbone and kind of give this a really nice ombre effect. And then I'm just gonna keep pushing it up this way. And now I'm peachy perfection. So this is what I do. I help my friends here. So if you want to try your peachy trend, and then I love where I'm at. Okay, I'm not telling. I'm still peachy. I'm not orangey. But that being said, if you find yourself going in the direction of a tangerine, and you want to bring it back, let me grab something. I'm going to show you how to fix it. You don't have to take anything off. We can color correct with this on. So by now, most of us have a pink blush with a ton of blue in it, okay? What corrects? I'm literally a teacher at this point. Class, what color corrects orange? Blue. Now, if we're feeling really wild, we could pick up some blue eyeshadow on a fluffy brush, but that can get a little difficult. Is it fun? Yes. We're gonna go back to our very blue pinks. I mean, even up against what I've got going on here, do you see how blue that looks? Do you see that? Okay, that's what it looks like in there once it's all shaken up. Look at how blue that looks compared to the peach. I hope that you can see that. Nothing in me is going to swatch blue on this right now, but there's such a blue. Yes, you have to be able to see that. If it'll help you, let me show you some more blue shades. All right, I found 2 more. This one will be easy to get. Kylie Winter Kiss. That's got a lot of blue. And then that Kaleidos. Oh, I love this one, so pretty. That has a lot of blue as well. So we're gonna need the blue and the blush. You want me to show you, don't you? I'm gonna show you my forehead because I don't want to mess up my pretty blush. I'm gonna do it. This is very spicy price, but I'm gonna recommend this. And the reason why, oh, wait a second. This is a really good option, and I've had it here because this is such a good dupe for the Givenchy. I've actually been meaning to film a video. Look at that. That's gonna have a lot of blue in it too. This is so beautiful. I'm gonna use this one. I'm gonna use the tiniest amount. If you're ever confused about the tiniest amount, it's gonna be what's in the lid. Actually, that has a little bit of collection in there, so let me shake that back in here. There we go. That right there on the lid is going to be plenty. I'm gonna show it to you on the brush. Very small amount. And I'm gonna add my bronzer back, but you can see that this is going to color correct, and this is gonna take us away from the peachy orange, which like I keep saying, I don't think that where we're headed is orange, but if you go into orange territory, this is what's going to kind of bring you back. The blue is going to help with the peach. Now we just go back over it one more time. There's a Gene Bean hair in my nose if you're wondering. He's irresistible. Go back over it one more time with our, and now look at this difference. Look at how much cooler that is. I don't have a pink forehead. It mixes into the bronzer and just cools it down. It's just color correcting. Color correcting is so fantastic. But again, well, I'm gonna put my bronzer back because I was fine with it. I didn't mind where we were, but just in case, because certain skin tones, they can sometimes pull a little orange when we start to do all of these peaches. And I just want you to have ways to fix it without taking it off and crying. But really quickly, if you do want to dupe for that Givenchy powder, plus this is a clean brand, a lot of y'all are always asking me, this one's made in the USA, and I've had this for a while and I love it so much. I've actually had it here and I'm not even using it because I had an idea for the video. So I need to use this, but y'all will like this. I'm gonna use MAC Myth. It's very peachy nude. There was a time that I only existed and wore this. I think I existed for this lipstick. There's that Gene Bean hair I've been fighting. Oh, I love MAC Myth. And I used to wear it alone. But you know what? I'm gonna put on a lip liner. I actually think it works on my skin tone alone. I actually wanna put quite a bit of powder through here, and the reason why, oh, that's fun. All powders do that, we know that, but it is a fun visual. I wanna really pack it on with a brush because this is a cream foundation and this is where I get a little bit shiny, so I'm just gonna pack a little extra powder on. I'm picking up quite a bit on the brush too and really pressing that in. Look at the difference even between the set and the set. We're double set now. And by the way, I was still just using the Maybelline powder. That's what I'm using. This is gonna look frightening, like most of my stuff does, until I'm finished blending. But I'm gonna use this NYX lip liner. And it's very warm, very peachy. I cannot hype these up enough. These are from JCat Beauty. This is the shade Galaxy Glow, and that's what they do. They glow. They add this beautiful glow to the lips. Twinkle Toes is actually my favorite. I think it's my favorite gloss of all time. And that's the more pinky blue one. And I don't mean glow from the gloss. I mean glow, like an actual visual glow from the pigments that are in here. Ugh, so pretty. Let's finish up underneath our, did y'all hear that R? That's about as Texas as it gets. We're gonna finish up underneath our bottom lash line. I like R better. Now remember, we don't even have to set this because there's no base underneath it. It's just gonna dry completely. Nice liquid shadow formula. Smudge that out underneath there. And then I want to do an extreme inner corner highlight. So we're going to take a little bit of this base, the milk one that I always use. I'm going to grab it on the side of this E27. I grabbed the smallest amount too much and it might get out of control. We don't want that. That feels about right. So then I went and grabbed Flexitip. Speechless. That is so pretty. Look at this. That's the level of inner corner highlight chaos that I was after. Watch. That is so pretty. Flexitarian is still that girl. I'm doing it. I know y'all want to see it. That's pretty. I forget how pretty it is. This definitely has a little bit more sparkle. There's a little bit. It's not a sheen, okay? It's gonna have sparkle. You'll see with back camera in a second, but it's gorgeous. All right, there we are. Peached up. Peached up for 2024. Y'all even got highlighter on my face. I've missed it though. I miss just wearing all the little decorative fun things in makeup. I like that we're gonna do a heavy highlighter sometimes. It's fun. Makeup is just so much fun to me. All right, friends, I love y'all so much. Definitely gonna be posting tonight. I'm not sure what, I love y'all. I love the peach. It's fun. We'll do different kinds of peach makeup. Maybe I'll do something a little bit more, less structured, but this is a spicy cut crease right here. I like it. I love you. I love you so much, and I'll see you in the comments tonight.